Hello, welcome to the Salesforce Training for Kira. Welcome first off. And what I'm doing today, I'm going to train you on the basics of Salesforce.com, our enterprise operational tool that is cloud-based, and it's a SaaS tool, which means it's not required to be on-prem for use. First off, I'm going to show you how to log in. The best way to log into Salesforce is to go to kkira.okta.com. If you're logging in from your work machine, you should be able to just automatically log in. Otherwise, you have to enter the same password that you use to log into Active Directory, so any other Active Directory accounts. And to log in, all you have to do is click this salesforce.com button, and it will log you in automatically. And if there's any problems, please let us know as soon as you can. What I'm going to do, I'm going to run you through the navigation, the testing, and overall processes inside Salesforce in one of our sandbox environments. So, what we use Salesforce for? Well, Salesforce is a way of keeping records for our accounts. We also keep a record of our contacts. It's used for our internal ticketing systems, also as well as our customer support ticket systems. We use it also for our certification process, tracking trainings, keeping an eye on our contracts, so we can make sure we keep all of our contracts in line for our different clients. And we use it for our sales operations, including our lead and opportunity management. And the marketing team uses it for our marketing campaigns to track things like ILTA and legal tech. Start off, as you can see here, we can have the navigation bar at the top of the screen. You see the home tab, which we click here. It will take you to a home page of all your chatter feed, the dashboard you may look at, some tasks that may be assigned to you, etc. And each one of these tabs is associated to a different object. So if I want to get to the accounts object, I click the account tab. If I want to access tickets, I click the tickets tab. If you are looking for a specific object that you don't see up here, it's always good to click the plus sign over here, and then you can see all the different objects you can view. Your screen will not look like this. I see everything inside Salesforce, so your screen will be significantly smaller than mine. So as you can see, we have our different objects here. And also, we also have different applications associated with each department. So you may see something different than me. So if you're in sales, you will probably see the sales pop up, and it will show you relevant tabs up top to the sales team. Just like if you change it to performance coaching, you'll see all the relevant tabs for performance coaching, as well as like goals, performance cycles, feedback, and that kind of stuff. What I'm going to show you, like I said, I'm going to go to the home page, and you can see the different chatter feed. Now, what chatter is our internal collaboration tool inside Salesforce only. If you're familiar with like any other kind of collaboration tool like Slack, it works similar to that, and you can tag people in it as you see fit. So if I want to tag one of my teammates in a conversation, I would type an @ symbol, and it would pick them up. Once I do that, it will send them an email, and I can chat with them from here. This is also available at the top of many of our objects, like tickets, accounts, contacts, and some of our other objects. Another thing that you would notice that is persistent across Salesforce is the recent items tab, recent items over here, where you can see the recent items you clicked into. So I recently have visited my own user. I can click that and easily access my information from here, and as you can see my feed of the many different activities that I did. Going back to the home screen, I also saw a contact not too long ago, so I'm going to click that, and that will quickly take us to the contacts tab. Another way to navigate around Salesforce is using the global search. All you have to do for the global search is go up here and search it like you would search anything else. So let's search for anything involving my name, Derek McKay. I do that, hit search, and it shows me everywhere my name would appear on any objects you can view inside Salesforce. So you can see I have a few contacts here. I also have a few things in an object called certification contacts. I'm also involved in a few tickets, and you see my people, which is my user, and then some trainings. Not everything will appear on the screen. So if you still don't see something you're looking for, try clicking search all, and that will give you more results throughout the system. And one thing you can also do quickly, if you know what specific object you're searching in, you could just go down the sidebar. So if I just want to find goals that involve my name, it searches just for goals where my name appears, so you don't have to constantly look through everything. Another good thing about now, there's also wildcard searching inside Salesforce, where you could type partial. So maybe you don't know how my whole last name is spelled. You could just put an asterisk there, and it would search for Derek and anything after that. Just gonna go back to my search results, and you can see it pulls in the same kind. This asterisk also could be used before, so maybe you just know my first name or my last name. It will search for that as well using a wildcard there. All right. Now I'm going to start digging into the different objects inside Salesforce in particular. So I'm going to go back to my call center since that's the one I'm most used to, and I'm going to show you accounts. Accounts is a basic is an origin basis of a lot of our objects. So it's more of a home base, and essentially what it represents our accounts inside Salesforce. So for us, where everybody else internally is in the KCare account, this is some of our clients or some places we're targeting. Acme Condiments is a test account we use. We have other accounts for DTI. We have accounts for Epic Systems. We have accounts for Advanced Discovery and other kinds of accounts. What you see here is a different list view at the top here once it loads. And you can see a list view that we have created for specific types of accounts. So let's say I want to look for an account that is just our corporate accounts. You can see there's a number of different accounts here where you can click on that, and you can also change to another one. So maybe we want to just see our enterprise clients, and then you see these here as well. And you can also do searches based on with this bar here. When you click, if you look for a specific name, so maybe we're looking for, let's see what accounts start with D. You see DLA Piper, where we could click on that. So I'm going to click into that account to visit that page, the account page for that. And you can see here of all the information for the account. So you see things like the client type, which is represents their client or not, the account owner over here, the primary contact, and we also have a bunch of other information where you can navigate at the top here. So if you click opportunities, you see the opportunities related to that account, and you can also see all the contacts related to this account. Going back to the account tab, if there's ever a case where you need to create a new account, you just type in a name. So I'm going to type a test account, and I pick what account type I want, and that's the basic information you need to have an account. It needs to have an account name and an account type, and once you create it, you'll be the account owner. So I'm going to save this, and you can see here that the new account is now created. It's a pretty blank account, so there's not much information. Generally, our sales team will sales and the rest of other KCare teams will populate that with more information. The next object I'm going to introduce you to is the contacts, which is our next biggest object after accounts. Very similar. We have list views. We have list views for majority of objects. So but less list views that are out there. So if I want to just see KCare admin contacts, you see there's none there. So we can check all contacts without accounts, and you can see that list here, and these contacts don't have accounts. Usually if the account does not have a contact, if the contact does not have an account, then only the person who created the contact can see them, and typically you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So going back to this one, I'm going to show you how when we create a new contact. When we create a new contact, you just enter the first name, last name, the account name you want to enter them in, and their email address. And then from there you can save it. Up. And we also prevent people from using from the same email twice. So I'm going to think of a different email to use. And it creates the account, the contact, and you can see that my contact name is now created. On the contact record, you can see a variety of different information as well. You can see what their title is. There's also a persona field here. We can see what their role inside eDiscovery is. T-shirt size. Mostly our marketing and sales team uses this to track specific information, what they have, so they can make sure they were selling correctly to them and we identify our clients correctly. The next object I'm going to show you is tickets. Tickets is how you typically would interact with our support staff internally, and as well as how our clients interact with us as our external clients. The variety of way it's each ticket system, each department has their own process. If you're in dev, your process is going to differ from IT and customer support. So many teams are using tickets currently, and there's a variety of different creation methods for this. The first one is just to create a new ticket by clicking the new button and picking what kind of ticket you want to create. Usually most tickets follow a similar process, just different values will be there. So I'm creating a test ticket, a test IT apps ticket, which that's my team. And we're gonna scrub this as a Salesforce ticket. And one thing you notice over here, I'm looking for a contact name, and this is what we call a lookup field. So we call a lookup field where we can pick a contact name in there and you can search for it. So if I want to enter my name as the contact for this ticket, I can hit go up there and enter my name in, as well as I can enter another team member. Search for him and put the contact there. And then you can also see the variety of different statuses that we have for IT tickets. Each team has their own types of statuses. There's specific fields we have to add here, but generally a ticket will be saved there. So I'm going to save this. And now that's a new ticket. Going back to the tickets tab, the other ways we can create ticket are we have a few web case forms out there, which means there's usually a web form. There's a web form on our website that creates support tickets by a customer filling out their name, their email, and their question or their problem they're having, and that will create a ticket to support. The most common way we use to create a ticket, and possibly the most easy way, is to send it a ticket based on the distribution list of the team you're looking for. So if you want to send a ticket to me in IT, you send it to IT support at KKira, and that's our internal IT operations, and also combines our internal IT applications process. If you want to send a ticket to relativity support, you will use support at KKira, marketing at KKira, certification at KKira, HR, etc. So we can look at some of the tickets that was sent via email. So it's just sent to us, and basically the subject of the email when it comes in will be the subject of the ticket here, and the body of the email will be in this description section. And what that helps with, it's an easy way for us to track exactly what you're saying in the email. And what we would do when we receive the ticket, we will scrub it, categorize it correctly. We will strip out some of the information that's not needed, such as we don't need the signature, or the greeting. We want to keep the ticket as simple as possible, and we will also follow up with the client either by email or by phone. It's important that if you see this field here that you meet this SLA, because that's what your department will promise, and in your individual department training, they will go over that. A way to contact email, there's two ways. One is to hit the send email button right here, which it won't work correctly here because I don't have Outlook set up on this machine. But when you click this, it will open up an Outlook email, and it will have this. It will populate the subject as well as it will put a reference number in there so we could track the ticket later. I'm going to open an email up and show you how that would look on the back end. So when you send an email, it will send the subject here, and it will put the subject, and it'll also put like a reference number. So let's see if I can find a good email for this. So what you see here is an email that was sent to Salesforce, and what that's doing is when the email I sent, you can see this reference number here. And what makes that important is if you copy Salesforce, if you put Salesforce at Kcura into the email address field, it will track this email back to the ticket so we can make sure we have all the information inside the ticket, and it'll be tracked down in this email section toward the bottom of the ticket. And what that's really good for is if you happen to be out a day and something is escalated, somebody else in your team can pick up the ticket and just pick it up very fluidly and just react to it and work on it without having to ask too many questions that have already been asked. So that's it. That's all I'm going to go over for the objects. There's a few more that you may want to look into. If you ever have a question about it, feel free to send us the email about it, or just go to Google it and see if you can find Salesforce's documentation on it. Another thing I mentioned earlier, we have different right now I'm in a user acceptance testing sandbox. These differ from production, and typically we will provide you instructions if we need you to test something in there. But in case you do have to test something in there, the easiest way to get to it is to go to test.salesforce.com. You enter the username, which is usually the same username used to log in to Salesforce, except there's a dot whatever the sandbox is. So I'm going to log into our functional testing sandbox. It looks exactly the same, except that there may be less data in it. All right. And each of our sandbox, so our fun environment is for functional testing. That's typically where just the Salesforce admins will do the development work and test to make sure it functionally works. When ready, typically our users will log into our UNT environment here, and you can see the sandbox you're in based on this top part in the upper right corner. And with that, we will have our users come in here and test out our changes before we ultimately move it into production. The last thing I'm going to talk about is logging into the customer portal. This is something that's very interesting. This is going to change dramatically within the next 6 months. There's a big project to spearhead this, but just to show you the basics, I'm going to log in as Bill Salt, which is our test user that we use. And as you can see, I'm searching for him. I'm going to go to Bill Salt. On his contact page, there's this button here that's log into community as user. So I'm going to log into the community. And what you see here are the basic pages, or what you see. Each client is not going to see everything. Bill is an admin test user, so he's going to be able to see everything. So what you have here is the ideas tab, which we could submit and vote on features and relativity. So that's similar to like any other ideas thing where maybe you make a good suggestion and you want to submit it. So what you see, uploading text from files or fields other than extracted text. One of our clients posted that, and you can promote and demote it as such, and you can also comment here at the bottom. All right, going back to the home. We also have our knowledge base. We can browse articles about our common issues, which I don't think we have any populated in our UAT sandbox. We could search around in there as well using the similar global search. Then we have our Q&A section where it's like an open forum for questions and answers. Our clients can also view their tickets from this side, and also submit a ticket from this way. So a client could view all the tickets they opened. And we also have our documentation, which links directly to our K-Cura documentation site. Then we have our education. We have our education center, which tracks our certification. So from here, you can track what trainings you've taken or attended based on the type. Bill Salt has not attended any. Another one is a certification tracker as well, and that tracks your certification. So you see, Bill Salt has a relativity is a certified administrator, and he can see when he expires, how many more credits he needs, and what has he attained so far in this section here. And then you can see the various certifications that are here. So he has a relativity processing as well. Then the last one is our best in service, and this is where our clients would apply to become best in service for our system. That's about all I have. If you have any other questions about Salesforce or having trouble doing anything, or maybe you need a brief tutorial on this, feel free to watch the video again, or you can always send an email to IT support@Kcura, and one of the members of the IT support application support staff will reach out to you, and we will be happy to help you out. Again, welcome to Kcura. I'm Derek McKay, and have a good day.